So now we get to the news of a major ruling that could finally yield answers for families of the victims of 9/11. That was 16 and a half years ago. Terry Strada's son was only 4 days old when her husband Tom, a bond trader at Cantor Fitzgerald, was killed in the attacks of the World Trade Center. Now a federal judge is allowing Strada and other families to look into Saudi Arabia's ties to the two men linked to the hijackers. And Terry Strada is with me now, and you've been a strong advocate. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I read where you were surprised and you had a few tears when the decision came out. What do you think this means, Terry?
Yeah, it was very emotional to hear that the judge finally ruled in our favor. It has been a very long, painful road to get this far, and what it means now is discovery's been ordered and we're going to go forward. Wow,
so you advance a little bit, then you get a setback, and then you've got delays. I can't imagine what this...
Yeah, it's been very difficult. It's been, like a leapfrog kind of, situation in the courts. Went on for years until we enacted the law JASTA, which now gives the courts the right to bring in any nation into a courtroom if we have evidence supporting that they were involved in a terrorist attack.
That was Congress passed it 2 years ago.
Yes,
JASTA is an acronym for Justice Against Sponsors of
Right.
Terrorism Act. What do you think the connection is with the Saudi government?
I think that agents of the Saudi government were definitely involved in housing the hijackers out in California. These two gentlemen that we've been ordered discovery on are called handlers. So it was their job to meet them, greet them, give them their housing, help them with their flying lessons, everything that they needed. Once they landed on American soil, these two gentlemen were involved in.
But what was their connection to the kingdom in Saudi Arabia?
Agents of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on their payroll.
Do you think Saudi Arabia specifically sent these two men?
I do believe.
To Southern California to pave to lay down the trail?
I absolutely
for
believe.
Others to come and live and get housing and take flying lessons in California?
Yes, I do believe there are elements in the Saudi government. Yes, there are agents of their government that definitely were involved in sending these men here or financing these men to be here, yes, to meet the hijackers. This Thumari fellow who out in California, we don't know how many of there are in this country just like him that were meeting the hijackers.
The 9/11 Commission looked at this and they stopped short of a conclusion that would support your thinking. What did you think of that?
Well, now we can rest that the Saudis have claimed that they were exonerated by the 9/11 Commission, because there's absolutely no truth to that. They were never exonerated, and there is no evidence that supports them being exonerated. That's what the judge looked at in January and said, if you aren't involved, you bring your proof, but these people now have enough evidence that I believe there's a reason to move forward and get to the entire truth.
You've been looking at this for so many years, and we know 15 of the 19 hijackers were
Saudi
traced back to Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Here's part of your statement on screen. Here it says, instead of dealing with these truths honestly and confronting the compelling evidence the 9/11 families have amassed, your kingdom has paid an army of lawyers and lobbyists a fortune to avoid the courtroom altogether by asserting sovereign immunity and begging U.S. policymakers to protect you, end quote. Do you think you have finally pushed through what you would consider this wall of defense?
Oh, absolutely. When Congress stood by our side and passed the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act, that sent a clear signal that now we can go forward, and the courts are now agreeing with what Congress said, and yeah, there's ordered the discovery, said you can go forward. I do believe we've broken through the wall. They fought so hard and so nastily, and when they brought our U.S. veterans into Washington, D.C. to lobby against JASTA, unknowingly, I mean, they have done so many underhanded things, and they've been so difficult, and it's been so painful to have to fight Saudi Arabia.
If you're right and you prove your case, how does that change the way we look at this?
I hope, we look at things a lot closer and we create policies that will protect us better from the element that was here at 9/11 and may still be in this country, because we've never fully acknowledged these cells that existed that helped these hijackers. So I'm hoping policies will change. I'm hoping that the truth will bring us to a better place for both countries.
You could also change the relationship entirely between Riyadh and Washington, D.C.
It should change it.
And you can prove it.
Yes, it should change it to some degree. But going forward, the truth, freeing the truth is good for both sides. We need the truth to come out through this lawsuit. The families need to have accountability, and going forward, we should be able to have a better relationship, you know?
You talk as if you have greater optimism or hope today than perhaps 24 hours ago. Is that a fair read?
Oh, definitely. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and there's been so much pressure, you know, trying to get our day in court, which is what the families have always been fighting for. So yeah, I feel much better.
Tears of joy yesterday for your husband, Tom?
Absolutely. This has all been for him and for all the other families.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And your